Good afternoon. So the other day we did a spray clinic, had about 10 airplanes here, and we pattern tested the airplanes. So when we had those 10 airplanes here, what you do is you put like 100 gallons of water in your tank and put some pink dye in it, and then fly across the string, and the string is then run through a reader hooked to a computer, and it analyzes your pattern. One advantage of doing that I didn't even think about was that pink dye will now let me know where I had any leaks in the system. So if you look here, at some point somebody put plastic plugs in this boom. So every other hole in this boom I don't use because I don't need it for what I do. I do 5 gallon or less work, so I don't need all the extra holes. Guys that do higher gallonage work, different parts of the country, herbicide work, whatever, they may have a spray nozzle in every one of those holes. But plastic is not the answer. So obviously I've got one cracked there. I've got one cracked there and cracked there. So on this side alone I've got 3 that I need to replace. Of course, I've tried to take one out before and they just break. So then you get to drill them out and clean the threads with a thread chaser. So that's what we're working on this evening, and we'll get working on that now. I ordered some brass plugs, ordered 40 of them. I got 20 so far, which is enough to get me going. But I'm going to guess that this is not going to come out without breaking. Maybe I'll be surprised. Okay. Yes, plastic is not the answer. So don't want to mess up the threads. I know I'm going to have extra of these, and these are brass, so they would be softer. Maybe. Is brass softer than aluminum? Not sure. I'll just make sure okay. Make sure I've got the right threads here. Should be 1/8 inch NPT thread. Okay, do believe that is correct. So, can I get this started? Get these threads cleaned out, get the plastic cleaned out of the threads. Seems like that is working. When I get these replaced, I'll clean these booms up. And we'll probably run some more dyed water through again and check. We'll see. Okay, need to get some pipe thread compound. This is going to work a lot better. So I should have about, well, I have 3 right now that are leaking, but I'm going to replace them all. I don't want the plastic ones in there just to have a problem later. So that one should be fixed. We're going to do the 3 for sure right now. I just want to get my known leaks fixed first, and then I'm sure I'll be able to get them all done before I need to spray, but just in case, I'm going to work on my leaky ones first, just in case I run into any issues. And then I've got another issue up on the bottom of the hopper that I need to address that was not plugged the correct way, and the plug that they had in the hole dissolved and came out, so I need to run a thread chaser through that as well, and then get the correct plug in at it also. So anyway, we'll do these final 2 and get the boom, the right side boom. There's no leaks on it, so we're good over there. We'll get these last 2 done on this side and then work on the hopper. There's liquid in behind that one, and it's already cracking, so if I was smart, I'd go to the lowest part of the boom and drain it out. If I had I know how I can do it. I'll just loosen up one of the check valves. Nice pink water. And I loosen the check valve down here. I should be able to get everything to drain out. Okay, so that's draining. Should be able to go back here and address this broken one. Okay. Definitely want to take your time and make sure you get this started correctly. Otherwise you could mess up your threads and have a whole lot of problems then. Most of that plastic plug stayed inside of those threads, so I'm going to have to try and drill it out. Hopefully I can drill this out without messing up the threads and then get it cleaned out. I'll try something different first. So what I don't want to happen is to push the rest of that plug inside of the spray boom with the drill bit. So I'm going to try and fish it out of there first. If that don't work, then I'll have to drill it out, but there we go. Came out. So that'll save me some problems down the road, I hope. Try and dry those threads out. And then I'll put a new plug in it after I get those threads cleaned. We'll give our release all surface cleaner a try here. See if it'll take this dye off. Got some on the step here. Taking some of it off. Should at least get us good enough to see if our new plugs are going to leak or not. We had a bunch that had dripped on the floor. That might take a couple tries to get all that to come up. So I need to work on the hopper, but there's a little bit of that dye water left in there and I need to open up the bottom, so excuse you, get in the gator, come on, let's go. So we're gonna pull this outside, dump the pink water outside instead of in the hanger, staining the floor even more than what it already is. Okay, so we will dump that water out. Okay, Greasy better go back in her pen. Okay. So what I've got is it came from the manufacturer this way. Got a little plug hole in it. They did not have a plug in it. Had caulk in it, and then it leaked. So I did not have the correct plug at the time when I needed to do testing. So what I did was got an undersized bolt and just wrapped it with a bunch of Teflon tape. Hands turned it in there from the inside. So that's good enough for testing day, but not good enough for spraying. So we need to get that fixed. So this is our setup here. Kind of sketchy. Be a really bad day if that tote for some reason fell into that plane. But what I've got going here is my hopper has some markings on the outside that start at 275 gallons on up to 500. But I've got nothing inside. So I need to meter some water in, and we have already calibrated this meter for water. Go ahead and turn it on. That's 120. $140.